So while we wait for the rest to join. We would love to know a little bit more from you, and you can feel free to put your name, organization, and location, and especially what word or phrase do you use to give a toast in your native language? For example, cheers in English, or salud in Spanish, or prost in German. So um, feel free to put it in the chat.
So thanks. I am Edison Mollik and working in Do Before as a country representative. Do Best for the refugee. This is the donor from Canadian and South Korean. They are working in refugee camp in Cox's Bazar. So I am also supervising all the donor fund as a country representative. At the same time, I am working in Compassion International as the partnership support specialist for developing policy of all partners of the Compassion International. They have 18 partners, so I'm working for that. At the same time, we have a small organization working in the community that is name is SELF, Social Ecological Livelihood Program. I am also chairman of that NGOs. And beside that, I am working with the faith-based organizations, especially Christian ministry in Bangladesh. There is a church, Bangladesh Presbyterian. I am also chairman of the trustee. So this is my great privilege to meet you. So thank you so much from my side and from Bangladesh. But now I am also joining on the behalf of the Samprity Aid Foundation as an advisor of the Samprity Aid Foundation and consultant also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alison. Thank you. And we also encourage you to have a drink by you because we'll have a toast at the end of this gala. So please prepare your drink. It could be also a fake drink if you want. But yeah, happy to have a toast at the end.
So you asked me about dream, yeah?
No, to prepare a drink.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry. Okay.
One drink. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And today we have a playlist prepared by Dean. Dean prepared a special playlist for us. So yes, and we're getting ready. I think we have 66 persons in the room. So that's we can start with Heather. Heather, are you over there?
Yes, thank you, Alonso. And welcome everyone, 66 and counting. My name is Heather McRae, and I'm the director of the Climate Justice Resilience Fund. And I am so delighted to have you all together today for our first ever online gala. This is a really celebratory day for CJRF. We have been in transition for the last couple of years, as many of you know. In 2022, just at the end of 2022, we made a significant shift from being a fund that was led by our funders, our donors, to becoming a fund that is now led by a board of activists and practitioners from all over the world. This is a significant change, and our board has been working since its appointment to develop a new set of policies and programs and strategies. And we're hitting an important milestone today. Earlier this year, or I guess I should say at the end of last year, the board made a commitment to become a much more participatory grant maker in terms of how we do our work. This is one of their most significant, I think, strategic changes that we've made. Our board itself is a participatory governance mechanism with a real diversity of people and perspectives on the board. But they committed that no, they would not be the only form of participation for CJRF, that other areas of our grant making would involve the people who are doing the work of climate justice on the ground and the people who are experiencing the challenges associated with climate change. So since then, one of the things that we've done is developed a set of participatory grant-making pilots. These pilots are intended to help us test out a range of different ways we might involve a range of different people in our decision-making around grants, how we might be able to help empower a range of different people to take part in the deployment of money, the decisions around money that we hold as a fund. Our board approved this series of grant-making pilots, and today we're going to get to celebrate the first of these. We made an open call for proposals earlier this year that we call our 2024 Global Open Call. And this tested out a number of new activities and changes for CJRF in terms of participation. First of all, this was the first time that we've operated in more than one language. And I am so delighted that we're able to offer French interpretation today. The open call was held entirely in both English and French. And this experiment for CJRF in becoming more accessible and being able to access more than only English speakers is one of the things we piloted with this open call. We also used a decision-making structure where all of the grants that we're going to announce today, were decided by the set of applicants. And you'll hear more about this from my colleagues in the next segment of our gala. But this is a big change. We had hundreds of people involved in our decision-making for these grants and for this open call, as opposed to a small board of 5 people, which is how we used to operate. So we're really excited for this phase of experimentation and learning at CJRF. And I'm really excited today that you're going to get to meet our new grant partners. We have 2 CJRF board members here today who you're going to hear from in a minute. Helen Magata is a CJRF board member based in the Philippines, who's been an activist on behalf of Indigenous peoples for most of her career and has become a real expert in inclusion of Indigenous peoples in global climate finance. Maria Alejandra Escalante is based in Colombia, and she has worked in feminist funding for quite some time, and her expertise in participatory grant making is one of the things that really informed this open call. These 2 board members you're going to hear from today. They've been our board champions for this particular call for proposals and this really innovative decision-making process. So with that, coming to us today from the Philippines, I'd like to invite Helen to be our next speaker and hand off to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Heather. Good evening, everyone. It's good evening from my side. Good afternoon, good morning. So today, to start our gala, I'm not going to do a very long speech, but instead I want to welcome you all. In my Indigenous language, I'm going to share a song. It's a song coming from my father's Indigenous language. It's a love song that says, "There's no one else I want but you, and I wish you could hear my heart. I wish you know that I'm only living for you." O dangga mait kasin teken si ức lấy chân is mangepan nan ức nắm na modi sikai ức sum sum cơ lại lại chớ cái đà lờ là li lại ai si đồng y lại ai là li lại ai si đồng y lại ai ôn tâm đam su mơ căng cắn xác cơn si đồng y lại la li la lại này lịch nắng nắng cơ cơ phai na nước phá lại lại chờ cái đà lờ hay yêu thâm nơ nan matak nan hilaam pang masa ya pang patyang ay tật ya dadama nan layat ko kan si ka ay dala lila di diwan diwan. Bye.
Lovely.
Beautiful. Thank you, Helen. I think we all understood the lyrics without knowing the lyrics. And now we have Maria Alejandra here that is already on the screen. Hi, Maria Alejandra.
Hi, thank you, Helen, for opening today's celebration with such a beautiful voice and setting the tone for today. Hi, everyone. So excited to be here. My name is Maria Alejandra. I am part of the Climate Justice Resilience Board and have been in this part of this transition that Heather was mentioning earlier today. And it is an honor for me to be announcing those 4 partners who have been the grant recipients of this first open call. And before I go on to announcing these 4 groups, I wanna celebrate and extend a lot of gratefulness towards the more than 175 different applicants who participated in the selection of these 4 groups through the applicant collective voting form. This means that there was so much time and energy spent in this process, and I wanna honor that and definitely show a lot of gratitude for people's energies and for believing in this process as well. And obviously, those 4 new partners have been selected by their peers that are part of the community that is represented in this call today from all over the world. So it is a huge, huge honor, huge step to be choosing these 4 groups. And with that said, I will announce the first group based in Bangladesh, who have been bringing power to women and marginalized peoples to organize towards a strong climate justice movement, and that is the Samprity Aid Foundation. Well, congratulations. We're gonna have a moment to toast as well, and a moment obviously to hear from each one of the groups. So congratulations, Samprity. Amazing to have you on board. The second group is based in Indonesia, and it's working to advance climate justice and community resilience, especially working with rural smallholder farmers, and that is CIRMA. Congratulations as well. Yes. And then thirdly, I will introduce this group that is based in Nigeria, that are working towards educating youth on climate change and community justice using their local language, and in doing so, growing youth's power to organize and to create change. And that is Dean. So congratulations, Dean, for being here as well. And last but not least, the fourth new partner is based in Kenya. It's working with indigenous communities across Kenya and Tanzania and getting their community initiatives influencing policy at all levels. And that is MPIDO. Congratulations, MPIDO. And with those four new partners, I want us to raise our cup. I have my cup of morning tea here. If people can see it, morning tea. Congratulations to all the work and that has gone into this open call, and to those four new partners that I'm sure are going to do incredible work and make a difference in their communities, in their regions, and for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to everyone. And now I would love to have so Samprity around?
Yes, I am here. Samprity Aid Foundation is here.
Shavaronjon, yes. So yes, Samprity is an organization rooted in the Bangla word for harmony, and is a rights-based organization empowering marginalized communities in Bangladesh through health, education, gender equality, and climate resilience initiatives. So with a community-centered approach and strategic collaborations, Samprity builds sustainable solutions for vulnerable populations, including Rohingya refugees. And so now I'm gonna ask Savaronjon about how does your project or past work strengthen connections and networks to advance climate justice and resilience? To you, Savaronjon.
Thank you so much. Esteemed team members of Climate Justice Resilience Fund and honorable audience, greetings everyone from Samprity Aid Foundation, Bangladesh. We are thankful for the opportunity to share our work and vision with you today. Your presence and support inspire us to continue striving for impactful and inclusive community-driven climate action. Samprity Aid Foundation efforts to strengthen connections and network to advance climate justice and resilience are deeply rooted in its collaborative community engagement and right-based approach. Climate action project implemented on Land Health and Clean Air for All, supported by European Land Foundation, and ongoing project focusing strengthening climate resilience health system supported by the Jackson and the Challenge Facility for Climate Civil Society for Gender Transformative TB Services supported by Stop TB Partnership, UN Ops, have demonstrated the ability of Samprity Aid Foundation to build partnership and mobilize communities for sustainable impact. Here is how the project contributes for strengthening connection and network to advance climate justice and resilience. On promote community engagement and empowerment by working directly with vulnerable communities, particularly women, marginalized groups, and individuals with disabilities. The organization ensures that their voices are integral to policy development. This promotes a sense of ownership and strengthens grassroots networks. 2. Building inclusive network and multi-stakeholder collaboration that will bring together civil society organization, government stakeholders, community-based organization, women-led organization, organization led by persons with disabilities, and local actors. The proposed name of the network is Network for Climate Justice and Resilience Movement in Bangladesh. It will be a nationwide network with the active involvement of 64 CSOs. This network will promote shared learning, resource sharing, and joint advocacy, enhancing collective capacity to address climate challenges and ensure climate justice resilience. 3. The project will focus on equity and inclusion through initiatives like disability, inclusive structure, and gender transformative adaptation strategies. The project will ensure that climate action is equitable. This inclusive frameworks encourages diverse groups to participate in and contribute to the broader climate justice movement. 4. The project will undertake policy advocacy and reformation initiative by advocating for gender responsive climate justice policies, and the project will collaborate with the policymakers to integrate the needs of vulnerable groups. This collaboration will strengthen institutional networks and local efforts with national and global climate agendas. The project will conduct capacity building and knowledge sharing workshop, campaign, and training session for community members and stakeholders, creating a platform for knowledge exchange and collective problem solving. Samprity Aid Foundation not only builds network, but also transforms them into powerful agents of change, promoting climate resilience and justice at all levels. We would like to share that we are deeply honored and grateful to receive this grant award from the Climate Justice Resilience Fund. This support strengthens our commitment to promoting climate justice and building resilience through inclusive network. Together, we aim to empower vulnerable communities, amplify voices for change, and drive meaningful action for a sustainable and equitable future. Thank you for believing in our vision and partnering with us in this critical journey towards climate justice. Thank you so much for your kind support to us, and my gratitude for everyone to being with us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much from Samprity Aid Foundation.
Thank you. Thank you, Shavaranjan. I would like to invite now Bergmans from CIRMA. CIRMA is a grassroots organization founded in West Timor in Indonesia, and it focuses on addressing extreme poverty and building resilience in urban, peri-urban, and rural communities through programs on access to clean water. And
Alonso, John will present the question. John.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Over to you, John.
Okay, Alonso, I will answer. Okay, thank you, Alonso. Good morning, everyone. I am John. It's an honor to be here and to represent our organization in this valuable forum. Since CIRMA's founding in 2018, we have been dedicated to empowering vulnerable communities in West Timor, Indonesia, especially those farthest from access to dignified life. CIRMA has built strategic partnership and collaboration with provincial, district, and village government, as well as international NGOs and private sector partners to enhance the impact of our initiative, some of which are clean water system. We collaboration with the New Zealand Embassy of Jakarta and the Japan Water Forum Fund have provided clean water system to hundreds of poor households. This effort have improved public health, ensured sustainable water access during dry season, and supported climate-smart horticultural farming. Through our partnership with Shellafib Chile, we have delivered healthy latrine solution to hundreds of impoverished farming families. Thousands of women and children now live with improved sanitation, better health, and greater dignity. We also collaboration with Ayuwas Tangguh, a USAID project in Indonesia, to implement reforestation. watershed conservation programs rooted in local community participation. Our advocacy networks, CIRMA also actively engaged in advocacy networks such as Track SDGs and the Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition Alliance Indonesia. This collaboration promotes inclusive policies at both national and subnational levels, ensuring marginalized groups have access to climate adaptation resources. Integrated health and nutrition into climate resilience program through partnership with Vitamin Angel America. We address the interconnected challenge of poverty, health, and climate vulnerability faced by smallholder farmer families, with a particular focus on the most affected groups, children and women. All partnership is a significant milestone in CIRMA efforts to strengthen networks and advance climate justice and resilience for smallholder farmers. CIRMA's grassroots approach emphasizing empowered communities to lead their own climate resilience efforts. In the small scale, CIRMA has supported hundreds of farming families in adopting climate-smart agriculture, introducing practices such as intercropping, agroforestry, and organic fertilization. These families act as network for knowledge sharing and collective action, helping other smallholder farmers adapt to climate challenges. CIRMA also prioritizes women and youth within the community for leadership roles, recognizing their vital contribution to community resilience. By integrating diverse perspectives into climate decision-making, we foster inclusive leadership and innovative solutions. Furthermore, CIRMA facilitates community-based action plan, which encourage collaboration between local leaders, local government, and stakeholders. This effort creates the local capacity to address climate risk together and build self-sustaining networks. To all of that collaborative work that CIRMA has done, we believe that CIRMA will continue to strengthen connection network to advance climate justice and resilience in West Timor, Indonesia. Finally, on this special occasion, on behalf of CIRMA and the communities, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Climate Justice and Resilience Fund for initiating and leading this transformative global movement and for bringing us together in this esteemed forum. I also would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to my fellow civil society organizations around the world for their participation throughout this selection process, from the very beginning to this milestone moment. Your collective effort have entrusted CIRMA with the responsibility to representing all of you, standing alongside the most vulnerable in the fight for climate justice and resilience. For us, this is not just about CIRMA, but it is represent all of us, standing together as resilient climate warriors, tirelessly working to protect and safeguard the future of our planet. That's all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you. And now we're going to have a conversation with Ngozi from DEAN. And DEAN is an initiative that empowers youth and rural communities in Africa to tackle climate challenges through advocacy, capacity building, and grassroots action. And it's guided by a vision of inclusivity and participatory democracy. And DEAN bridges the gap between citizens and decision makers to foster climate justice and sustainable development. Hello, Ngozi, over to you.
Thank you.
About the project.
Thank you, Alonso. DEAN believes in the power of people's stories. DEAN understands that even though people and their challenges are direct target of development-oriented programs and initiatives, yet oftentimes the concerned people are not intentionally listened to, their struggles are not deliberately explored, and this results in their stories being unintentionally curated for them. At DEAN, we cherish the raw story of the people. That's our constituents which we serve. We believe in their stories are the spirit of our solution ideas. This is why over the years we have worked strategically with marginalized rural communities and more often very hard to reach grassroots communities in Nigeria through a strategy that we call the Community Project Partnership Council. We developed this initiative for a continuous ongoing learning process for both us and our host communities, and to nurture healthy relationship structures that are anchored on a mutual trust system. And this is how we have over the years used our work to strengthen connections and network to advance sustainable results in our areas of intervention. From running a GoFundMe to provide access to clean and safe drinking water for 10 different communities, with which more than 5,000 children were saved from waterborne infection, and more than 1,000 of these children re-enrolled into school after dropping out due to illness related to contaminated drinking water. To the rolling back of the impact of COVID-19 on the school reopening process in poor and marginalized communities who lack access to hygiene facilities to support them in maintaining consistent hygiene behavior. Through a partnership with World Largest Lesson UK and Rekit Benkis, we were able to equip 85,000 students from 200 schools with hygiene, behavioral change learning, and provided them with personal hygiene kit that contains soap, hand sanitizers, nose masks, and reusable towel. This single initiative affected over 20,000 household families. Responding to the continued threat of climate change to the community level, smallholders, farmers, and low-income women, we have supported 300 women post-COVID with economic recovery skills and built a safe space group for them to network and strengthen each other. We facilitated a group of 100 smallholders farmers and provided them platforms and instruments to share stories of how climate crises affect them differently and share local solutions for adaptation and mitigation. These low-income women and smallholder farmers had their resilience strengthened in the face of climate emergencies. Empowering young people through education to lead local climate communication and action, we have led a national school climate education campaign that seeks to integrate climate education into the school curriculum. This effort has gained national momentum. Using our specialized climate curriculum, we have trained 5,000 youth climate educators who have carried out climate workshop sessions in over 1,000 schools across Nigeria, reaching more than 10,000 students. Through our various programs focused on local communities, we have established a niche as an organization whose work through our Community Project Partnership Council is co-created with grassroots communities. We are one of the largest youth network builders in Nigeria. We have youth group hub in every state of Nigeria and with partnership in Ghana, Kenya, and Zimbabwe. Our network of youth coalition and group is part of our greatest strength because we are located at the grassroots. We understand the challenges associated with local communities and how the climate crisis impacts them. This has played a part in integrating climate justice and strengthening community resilience in the face of the climate crisis. Finally, with the support from Climate Justice Resilience Front, we are so happy to be selected because most times we hear of Lake Chad, but the stories that are being told of stories of insecurity and terrorism. But with this support, we are able to tell the story of the everyday challenges faced by people whose livelihood has been affected due to the shrinking of 19% of the Lake Chad basin. And we believe that their stories will really speak to how they have continued in face of the existing climate crisis, continue to survive and build resilience. And we are so happy that we get to meet other people that were selected, and together we hope to contribute in our parts in addressing climate change for marginalized communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ngozi. Thank you for your words. And now, lastly, we have Joseph from MPIDO. MPIDO is a Kenyan NGO dedicated to improving the livelihoods and resilience of indigenous peoples through advocacy, civic education, and sustainable development initiatives. And by focusing on human rights, climate justice, and women and youth empowerment, MPIDO strengthens indigenous communities to secure their rights and actively shape policies affecting their lives. Hello, Joseph. Oh, the whole team is there. Great. Hello, Joseph, Samante.
Yes, very good. Yes. Good morning and good evening to all of us. Thank you, Alonso. Thank you, the Executive Director of Climate Justice Resilience Fund. Thank you, our friends. We have invited friends from Mali, from Cameroon, from Tanzania, Kenya, and Botswana, plus Denmark. And I want to thank them for joining us during this very special occasion. I want to thank particularly also those who went through the proposal. And finally, out of 175, we were selected as one of those organizations. And I also want to thank our brothers and sisters from Bangladesh, from Nigeria, and from Indonesia, who also succeeded in being selected to implement this particular program. I want to talk about this particular project. It's a project that we indicated clearly that we want to implement this program in southern Kenya, northern Tanzania. Some of us may recall not a long time ago that the people of Ngorongoro, the people of Olyondo faced one of the worst evictions of our time. The only crime they committed was to live in a natural environment that the people from the Middle East countries wanted it for conservation. And during that time, these people are the Maasai who are in Tanzania side, and we are the Maasai on the Kenyan side. And we happen to be on both sides of the borders because of colonization. And when they become, some of them become refugees in Kenya, we did not have a platform, really a united front to address the crisis that the community was facing. So this program is basically a program for collective action. What does it mean? It means we are a community that first of all depend on livestock production. And for those who never probably understood pastoralism, pastoralism stands on three pillars. One pillar is a society where you have the institution, where you have the policy, where you have the programs, and the second one is economy. And this is where pastoralist women will play a major role to try to benefit from what I call cross-border movement, both livestock and the people around southern Kenya, northern Tanzania. The last one is ecology. This is a critical pillar. What does it mean? It means we cannot survive without a natural environment. And this is where the challenge is coming from. National policy, national program, regional program. For example, we have East Africa Community, we have East African Federation. We have seen this particular program undermining our resilience to climate adaptation, climate mitigation. If you constrain mobility of these communities, it becomes extremely very difficult for them to survive. So this particular initiative is going to mobilize action to engage national government, to engage county government, to engage the communities, and to engage the regional institutions in East Africa to ensure that we have a favorable environment for mitigation and adaptation of climate change. And that's what I call social justice. And that's what I call climate justice. And without that, it becomes extremely difficult for us to engage and undermine to respond to climate change. We have a history. We are the first country in Kenya to have prior informed consent put in the law. So today, under the Kenya Environment and Climate Change Act, free prior informed consent is a critical element of law. We did it because we mobilized indigenous people in Kenya through different platforms, through different networks, to influence the Kenya government to ensure that without prior informed consent, we cannot able to adapt to cope to the climate change. As I conclude, indigenous women across southern Kenya, northern Tanzania, depend so much on a very sensitive livelihoods, and that is livestock. And because of frequent and long-term droughts, they have been so much affected. A large number have been extremely pushed to extreme poverty. We have seen young people migrate into urban cities to try to cope, but they don't have the skills in order to be accommodated in urban economy. We have seen displacement as a result of the climate change. And for that reason, this program will have several interventions. And one of them is to ensure that traditional institutions have the voice, have that platform to engage with different stakeholders, government at the national level and the government at the regional level. Secondly, women have been ignored. Women have very limited voice. This program is going to give the women the voice so that they are going to be heard, they are going to bring their proposal to the table, and they are going to give it an opportunity to ensure they are not only just going to be feasible physically, but the initiative is going to be supported. Where we are in Africa, which is unfortunate that the last outcome, COP29, it is a disaster for us in this continent because the Western world, which produce a lot of green gases and they have put us in this mess, basically they refuse to commit reasonable resources for the addressing the problem of climate change. And we are going to be most affected. Indigenous people, as I conclude, have not in any way contributed to the crisis, but they are carrying the burden. And for them to cope, the resources are going to be critical for us to be able to adapt, mitigate the impact of climate change. Thank you, Climate Justice Resilience Fund, for really being innovative, for bringing the benefit of collective action. I remember we went through a very interesting proposal, and I remember telling Alonso the other day, we need to be connected with two organizations, one in Southern Africa and the one in Ecuador, even though Ecuador in Latin America, but we share similar realities. They are also on the cross-border. They're basically the same community in different countries. And they are going through exactly what we are going through. And this is the people we are going to build a network and a collaboration so that even at the global level, we are going to be understood, we are going to be appreciated, and our contribution to address the impact of climate change is going to be really given a huge attention and a huge investments in terms of technical support, in terms of policy, in terms of political will, and in terms of resources. I want to thank all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Wow, I think it's really rewarding to see, to hear the participants talk so passionately about their projects. And I also wanted to take this opportunity to open the space in the chat. If there's organizations that participated in the open call and were not selected, you feel free to put 3 or 5 sentences about your organization or your proposal in the chat with your contact information if you want. So I think it's many organizations ask for connecting opportunities, and this could be one. So then what we have in the plan is we have a traditional dance presented to us by CIRMA that really kindly recorded a traditional dance for us. So we wanted to share with you this video, and yes, we will then have a moment to wrap up.
Hello everyone and welcome. We are so excited to have you join us today from all around the world. Thank you for being part of this special moment as we dive into the rich cultural heritage of East Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. Tarian Helong originated from Timor, especially from the Helong tribe of East Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. This dance portrays the traditions of Helong society, where young women are required to learn weaving skills as teenagers. Weaving is not only a skill, but also an important step in preparing for marriage. Weaving also became a tradition for every Timorese woman after harvesting the crops while waiting for the next planting season. Traditional woven fabrics that we call kain tenun, known as East Nusa Tenggara, cultural icons that reflect the Indonesians' rich cultural heritage. Now, let's watch together the Helong dance presented by CIRMA.
with this beautiful, beautiful dance, we want to also thank the creative team of CIRMA and John for making the coordinations to this Tarian Helong dance, and such a beautiful tradition. And so what we're having now, I think Ngozi wanted to share with us a poem. Ngozi, how do you feel for it?
Yeah, we have spoken word artist. They will represent Valentine. Can you unmute? Yes, he will be doing that. Thank you, Alonso.
Hello. Thank you, Alonso and Ngozi. So I'll be performing a poem titled The Beauty of Green. So let me go. I love the beauty of green. When dew trickles down the blade of grass at the break of dawn, when a grove of bamboo shimmers at the feet of the sun, when a terrace of olives connotes a magical scene as viewed from the top of a cliff, and beneath there is a choir of birds singing. No place like home, no home like nest. At best, I love the beauty of green in the warming of spring, when lakes at births are but puddle drops of hope and relief for slender trees begging to bloom, because there is a war as the desert wind looms over the earth, ravaging lands at extreme, sand dunes of the Sahara, Lake Chad on the edge of its crisis, diminishing in what the lush, fresh body it used to be, the place where every living thing would be and breathe forever. But now that beauty is being gone, like old age coming from a youth being plumbed. Home, plants, livestock, and livelihood flood to the edge of existing no more. No more can the lake run through the veins of affected communities, nor their farms be plowed, making refugees of children who die of thirst, disease, and hunger. Children who once loved to wash in the stream and at the end would carry pots filled up to the brim back homes to their mothers. Oh, it was fun out in the fields chasing butterflies and grasshoppers, playing hide and seek behind palm fronds until evening calls for soccer. And at supper, a little girl and her brother would drool over fresh fruits on the table. Yes, life was that stable, but not anymore. Not with the chopping of woods and burning of bushes, not with the ashes, not with the soil losing its nutrients, not with the shrinking of the due to conflict, not with the radical change in climate, not with our hands locked in our pockets, while the desert borders spread wide barren. See, our world doesn't need more cities than an army of trees, walls thick around the flow of life, the flow of Chad, the lake. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Valentin. And
Thank you.
we've got
Clap for my.
we would like to do some closing remarks, and just letting you know that we'll be announcing the story series. So we collected a group of stories from all the participants. So we're going to be publishing them regularly. And also we invite people to be on the lookout for a blog that we are drafting for on this process, and also the staff reflections on the process. And also invite you to join the newsletter for future grant making opportunities. And we would also love for you to open your videos so we can see each other right now, and prepare your glasses, because we're going to have a toast to celebrate the participants, and also picking one of the words that in the other languages that we learned from. I saw some zum Wohl in German, well, salud also, and yes, we'll love to celebrate together this moment. So prepare your glasses. Are your glasses already there? Yes, and we'll have a cheers right now for the people. So cheers. Cheers for the participants and cheers for the winners.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
Cheers.
Salud.
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 Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers.
Cheers. I use the water
Salud,
bottle.
Edward. Salud,
Cheers.
Joseph.
Wow, salud.
ধন্যবাদ বাংলাদেশ থেকে ধন্যবাদ
ধন্যবাদ.
থ্যাংক ইউ
Yeah.
Good.
Salud, John.
Ekufaji. Ekufaji. That one is from Yoruba in Nigeria. Ekufaji.
Ekufanyi.
From Bangladesh, Shagotom, Shushagotom. That means welcome. Shushagotom from Bangladesh.
Shushagotom.
Welcome.
Okay.
Cheers to everyone. And thank you for being here. Hi, Buba, Doreen.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.